everyone, and welcome to Happy, Healthy, and Successful, where we bring many masters around the world in the spiritual area, empowerment, personal development, in health, that are sharing with you practices, tools for inspiration, and to hold the space for you to step into your next. And today we have beautiful Cathy Nesbitt. Hi, Cathy. You want to meet yourself? There you go.
Hi, Maria. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Beautiful, beautiful. Cathy, I am so happy to have you here, and I love the energy that you bring, that laughter. Tell us a little bit about who you are as a health and wellness advocate and your journey getting here.
Well, it's the 22nd anniversary of my worm composting business, Cathy's Crawly Composter, selling worms by the pound for indoor composting. I think that's my main mission, why I was put on earth. And it's not an easy one. I really truly believe that I'm divinely guided, as we all are if we listen, as you know. And 10 years into my mission, one more person said, "Ew, worms in the house." And I had heard it many times before. In 2012, I felt it. I was listening all of a sudden. And I questioned everything. And I'm an action taker. I get a thought and I take action because I know from experience that if you sit on it, then you can talk yourself out of doing stuff. And I think the angels know that I'm an action taker. So for 10 years, I was doing my job. The angels were helping other people. And when I got that message, I was questioning everything. I said, maybe I should just get a job. I don't know what to do. Universe, 10 years. I tried. I did my best. And the very next day, I was introduced to laughter yoga.
I love that.
And it changed my life. Laughter has changed my life. It is, so it saved my worm business. I'm still in my worm business. It helped me to take things less personally, I think, is what I would say.
I love that. Let's really talk about that, because sometimes we get into the judgment. Sometimes we get into what's going wrong, what's not right about this, everything that is happening to me. And we get stuck in that statement and that program and that pattern, the loop and that cycle. And we forget that we do have choice. We forget that we can choose happiness, that we can choose joy, that we can choose to laugh again. So tell us a little bit about that process for you.
Yeah, so laughter, I'll just talk about what laughter yoga is so people understand like how simple this magic medicine is. Ever heard the expression laughter is the best medicine?
Yes.
Right? Everybody has, and it's the truth. So if laughter is the best medicine, we have to take the dose. We have to laugh in order to get the medicine. So laughter yoga started in 1995 by a medical doctor, Dr. Madan Kataria, and his goal is world peace, Maria. World peace through laughing. What a beautiful mission. And so simple, and it seems like, oh, as if, but imagine if we were all laughing together. How that would change everything. Laughter is just an energy. And I believe that laughter yoga started in 1995 so that we would be ready for 2020 when the world shut down. There were very few opportunities before 2020 to laugh online. And then we all jumped online, and I this is a global movement. There are laughter clubs in over 120 countries, and so it's not jokes or comedy. It's laughing for the health of it. There are little games to inspire the laughter. There's some clapping and chanting. So as the laughter teacher, the laughter yoga teacher, so it's not doing yoga and laughing. It's laughing as an exercise. The yoga part is the deep diaphragmatic breathing and the practice of the laughter. We can live without food and water for a few days. We can only live without oxygen for a few minutes. Right? And our brain requires about 25% more oxygen than the rest of our body as an operating principle. I mean, our body it's a machine. It's a beautiful vessel that is so resilient. The things that we do to our body and it still functions, it's a miracle, really. And so when we go into stress, our blood, lymph, oxygen leaves our brain and goes into our muscles so we can escape. Like the prehistoric stress part of the brain, which
Mhm.
is where we go in stress without getting too scientific, because this is really simple. When we're laughing, we're exhaling.
Mhm.
So we can't continue ha-haing. We have to take a deep breath in. So laughter forces us to oxygenate our beautiful body.
Mhm. Beautiful. It sounds like a huge release, but also sounds like a huge expansion. What can you share with somebody that's gone through maybe something very traumatic or a loss or is grieving, and it's hard for them to connect to this part of themselves? What are some,
Yeah.
yeah, ways that
Thank
they
you. Yeah, that's beautiful, because the beautiful part of laughter therapy or wellness or a laughter program is that you don't need to talk about your problem. You
Mhm.
don't need to know the problem. You just can laugh as a release. And the body doesn't know the difference between real and simulated laughter. So when we're laughing, our brain might be, all those thoughts coming up. What are you doing? Why are you laughing? Blah, blah, blah. The mind, that's the ego part, wanting to keep us safe. So our body is secreting all the love drugs. So our body feels great. So as long as we can override, as the laughter leader, you gently guide people to allow themselves permission to
Mhm.
laugh.
Mhm.
Like, people say, how can I laugh? Look at what's happening in the world. We have all these things. And if that's not enough, cost of living, jobs, all of these things heaped on, how can I laugh? And my response is, you must laugh, or you're
Mhm.
crying in the corner. You're really stressed. You're afraid. You're scared. Laughter opens us up. When
Mhm.
we're stressed, back to our beautiful brain, it's the answering machine. When we're stressed, no oxygen is going there. Ever
Mhm.
lost your keys, phone, glasses, and you're flapping around like, I gotta go, I'm going to be late. As long as you're flapping around, and we've all done it, where we get more stressed, the longer we're flapping around, the longer we can't find them. We
Mhm.
need to stop and take a deep breath in. Okay, we're going to be okay. We're not in imminent danger.
Mhm.
That's where our stress center, it sends us pardon me, it sends us into danger zone.
Mhm.
And it might be a nuisance. It's annoying. Somebody might be really mad that we're going to be late, but we're probably not going to die if we miss the bus.
Mhm.
But our body acts as if. So this is a way with laughter, we can override those feelings. We're in
Mhm.
charge of our own pharma when we're laughing.
Absolutely.
Right? We're secreting all the love drugs, dopamine,
Mhm.
oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins versus cortisol and adrenaline when we're stressed.
Mhm.
We are literally in charge of our own pharma. It's really a beautiful thing.
Mhm. And as you're sharing that, I can feel some of the questions that are coming up. Some of the questions of, okay, I can do that if I'm in a good mood, or I can do that if things are okay. Um, but also, it's still experiencing the resistance to laughing if they're in deep pain. So I'll have you answer that question. But what I'm also want to share is that when we choose to laugh, when we choose to be at peace, when we choose to be in self acceptance, that is also already healing. When we decide I'm going to move from being in pain to just being at peace, and then from peace, then being in joy and laughter. So it is sort of a movement in that direction, but it's possible. And it starts with the choice of us wanting that, us wanting to give that to ourselves. And when we're not allowing it to ourselves, we're really sabotaging. We're taking away the joy. We're taking away the chemical, amplification that happens in our body, the health that happens in our body. Because when we hold on to deep, heavy emotions, our body also responds by symptoms, becoming symptomatic. But when we experience joy and we hold joy in our heart, then we feel light. We feel, full of energy. We feel flexible. We want to go out and do things. We feel inspired. Tell us a little bit about maybe situations, whether it's you or somebody that you work with, that was in that place where they were unwilling to see the possibility.
Yeah, I wanted to address what you said. When it's just like music. When we put say heavy metal music on, it's down here, it's in a frequency. And then we put opera music on, it's a different frequency. It's like tuning into the radio station.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that laughter is just an energy. So when we're feeling sad, anxious, depressed, frustrated, it's an energy. That's all. We need to shift the energy, and it's as simple as that and as challenging as that because it's so simple. And we know, and back to the music analogy, when we're driving along and then a song comes on the radio that we really love, no matter how we're feeling, if we sing along to that song, it changes our
Mm-hmm.
frequency.
Mm-hmm.
It changes how we feel. So that's what I would say is going back to overriding your mind to the person that is so resistant. And I get it that when you're in pain, so my goal is for people to care about the planet. But since 2020, and even before, but really since 2020, we've had this global mental health tsunami.
Mm-hmm.
So although I want people to care about the planet, they can't right now. If you're in a mental crisis, you're just thinking, how do I function today?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is, just one step at a time, one breath at a time. And this is a practice. You don't laugh once and, oh, good, I'm cured. I'm all right now. And I wanted to tell you something about the laughter yoga movement. When I came to laughter, I was so surprised how many laughter professionals I have met who came to laughter from depression, from hopelessness, they had hit rock bottom, and then they were introduced by happenstance to laughter yoga, and it changed their life so much so that they now are laughter leaders. And so there's a film called You Are What You Act by Albert Nuremberg. Have you heard of this film?
I haven't, but I will have to look for it. You are what you act.
You are what you act. And just a summary, he talks about actors in a movie. Tom Cruise, in real life, he's saved people from, I don't know, car accidents. It's in his DNA. Yeah, he does his own stunts. The same is true if you're acting as a depressed person for 6 months for the film. At the end of the film, you're depressed now. You need to take action. And one step further with that, today we have this really crisis because of 2020, but because of our cell phones. One thing that really struck me was when we're on our cell phones watching that movie is we have a candy cane neck. We take on the physiology of depression when we're on our thing. So even if we're looking at something funny or, a funny video or something, we're laughing, but we're also secreting stress hormones because our body has that physiology. So if you're listening and you're an inventor type, there's an opportunity for somebody to create something like the selfie stick where we're working up here and our neck is straight, because it will make a huge impact on our health and our like, look up and you see the light, literally.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Another question that was coming up as you were sharing, we try different things. That people try one thing, whether it's an activity or whether it's a meditation, whether it's a tool or a process or even a crystal. And what would you say to somebody, or how would you work with somebody who says, yeah, I've tried it all. It hasn't allowed me to connect to who I am, or hasn't allowed me to connect to that joy within me, or to the laughter within me. What would you say, or how would you guide somebody into stepping into that laughter and just letting go?
So it's really being present, just coming into when you're thinking all those thoughts, those are in your head. Those are thoughts in your head. So I would ask somebody to give laughter a chance, or try something else, because there's something for you, and no magic pill for anybody. There's nothing for everybody. In my laughter club, I'm an infinite learner, so I'm always learning new things so I can pass on the knowledge. And I started my laughter club in June of 2020 because I needed it. I was trapped in my house like everybody, and I needed to connect. And I started to attend all the health and wellness summits. They're free online if you watch, at the time, and there's a summit for every body part. And I started to incorporate that magic medicine, everything that's in us. And in my club, I'll say, I share all these tips, and I'll say, if anything that I do, if you don't like it, it's not for you. Like, don't do that one. If something else feels good, do that one. We need to know our own body. There's 7 billion people. I think there's probably 7 billion diets and 7 billion ways that will help people. But there are definitely, I think it's being open. And it's awareness. If you're aware that you're feeling sad, know that there's a way for you to feel better. It's our birthright. And we were put here to find out what that is, because when we feel good, we do good. So when we're in good health, we want to help other people. And so that's what I would say to somebody. That's what I would say. If you're feeling bad, go help somebody else. And it sounds counter, but when you help somebody else, then you're like, or share your story with somebody so that your story's not your burden. It's not just you and that voice in your head ruminating around. You get to share it, and then it's less.
And that recommendation of helping somebody is so powerful, because what happens when we do that? We get out of our own way. Our focus is not on ourselves and what is wrong with ourselves and what is wrong with our life. It's really on, what can I do for this person? How can I help this person? And actually, we shift their vibration by doing that, because we moved into feeling maybe hopeless and stuck or even angry to, I am of service. And then we move into abundance, because now there's more than enough of ourselves that we want to give, or that we can give to somebody else. So that's very powerful. And I recommend it in any situation. And I recommend it when somebody feels stuck with their money. Like, I don't know where it's coming in. I don't know what to do. It's not, I'm not having the money flow that I would like to. Go serve. Give to somebody else. And hold the space for somebody else, because when we hold the space for somebody else, whether it's in laughter, joy, abundance, or whatever that may be, we step into that. We raise our own vibration to match that, so others can step into that field as well. Beautiful. Cathy, what has been your biggest lesson in life?
I have my biggest lesson in life. Wow, there's been many. One really huge lesson for me was, I'm a master manifester, like we all are, but I'm intentional with my manifestation. I was walking in the forest and got an idea. My husband and I were talking, and I got an idea that I wanted to go to PEI, a place in Canada that I hadn't been. So I said, I want to go and do a workshop in PEI. Okay. And then got on my way. 2 days later, I came home from wherever I was. My husband said, hey, guess who called? I don't know. Where did you say you wanted to go? I don't know. I say a lot of things. And he said, PEI called. They want you to come and do a workshop. Wow. Okay. Beautiful. And it was for so it was for my worm business, but it was for the Canadian Association for Fairs and Exhibitions. I was like, these are my people, right? I can do workshops, first of all, to educate the attendees, but I could also do like manure management for the animals that might be at the fairs. I can do waste management for the fair. Like, oh, wow, this is going to be really big. And so I went there thinking, oh, these are the fun bringers, right? The fair people. What I didn't realize was when I spoke, like, there was people in the audience, whatever, but because this was an annual conference, the people came and they knew each other. Everyone knew everyone. So nobody, even though I was one of the speakers, nobody asked me to meet them for dinner. Nobody asked me. So I was like, in my room early, and I could hear everybody having fun, chatting. Hey, how do you do? And although it was one night, I really got a huge message. What about people who are different than other people? And that is a huge piece. I'm the one now at a networking event. If somebody's on their own, I'm with them. If I see somebody on their own, I get a sense. Like, everybody's an empath. We hear that word a lot. I've been an empath, like really honed my skill there, because I think it's really important to feel. Because when you feel somebody else, that's when you can really connect with somebody. So that one of my biggest lessons was realizing, wow, this is one night for me. I got a good night's sleep because I went to bed early and all was well, but it really made me feel alone. And I really connected with folks with special needs. So that's a huge piece of what I do now.
Beautiful.
I'll say it on your happiness summit. One of my goals, one of my things that I was put here on earth to do, because it keeps coming back to me, is to work with people with Down syndrome and laughter yoga, somehow training them to lead laughter.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Wow.
Powerful.
I know.
Yeah. It's already out there. So it's already happening, being orchestrated. Beautiful, Cathy. Is there a process or a tool that you can share with the audience?
Yes, I can. I would like to, and it goes really perfectly with your summit. It's a song that I came up with, and it's an earworm, because I love I know earworm is usually a bad thing, but worm, I'm trying to change can of worms too. I want everything worm to be good. Okay, so this is goes to the tune of "She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain," if people know that. Da 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 is the tune. Okay, so the motions are: you tap your chest, I am, and then happy, healthy, infinity sign, wealthy, point at self, wise, and free. Woot, woot. And then I am happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, and free. Yoop, yoop. I am happy, healthy, wealthy. I am happy, healthy, wealthy. I am happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, and free. Woot, woot. You know, I think the important piece that I really want people to get from me and from my talk, I've been a work in progress. I seem like I'm freewheeling and easygoing. I've been selling worms for 22 years by the pound. I don't have repeat customers in that area. I work hard. So this, it hasn't always been easy. At the beginning, the worms ate better than me. I just had an idea. I had a solution. The landfill for the largest city in the country closed, and we started to export our garbage 1,000 trucks a week. So I have a huge mission, and I know I'm on purpose. It's not always easy. So laughter just helps me, like, to come up with more creative solutions, to not be in my head like, oh, why don't they want what I have? Because they were traumatized as kids by worms.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm meeting a lot of people who, after a rainy day or they're, a fishing incident, something happened with worms. And if something happened, you're not looking to that as a solution. Mm-hmm. Right. So I have all these barriers, and I have a psych degree. So I'm fascinated by people and why they do what they do. So I would really suggest, if people want to live a great life, to do something they haven't done ever before, like just, the cliche of getting out of the box. The magic is outside of your comfort zone. It really is. When you feel uncomfortable, that's good, because then you have to either retreat back into what you know. Oh, this, the devil, okay. That life, it's pretty small because you know it. You've been there already. Go out in another playground and experience the magic of what's out there. Play the game. What's the worst that can happen? And when you whittle it back to, oh, I might look ridiculous. So no one's going to remember. Mm-hmm. Everyone's thinking, oh, I don't want anyone to think I'm ridiculous. Good. So no one's looking at you. Go be ridiculous.
Yeah, I love that. I love that sense of freedom, like that, inspiring that sense of freedom. Just being authentic, being playful, having fun, letting your hair down, being wild, allowing the wild part of you to come out and just run free. I love that. Love that. Beautiful, Cathy. And thank you. Thank you for your work. I know Mother Earth appreciates the work that you're doing. And we all do. Thank you. Anything else that you would like to share with the audience?
I would love to invite everyone to my free Tuesday Laughter Club. It's online, Tuesday mornings, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 30 minutes of super fun self-care. I incorporate tapping, brain gym, Qigong, just to help people. My goal is just to help people get out of stress and into joy. And it's really a beautiful, come and experience the magic of laughing just for fun. Have a great life by raising your vibration.
Beautiful, beautiful. And this is the time where we really want to step into that, raising our vibration, living in joy, laughing, just laughing because it's fun to laugh, laughing because we're free to laugh, laugh because it raises our vibration and it brings more of what we truly desire, because it helps us align with what we really want in life. And because when we laugh, then it's contagious, right? Others around us can feel that joy and then they step into that as well. But thank you, Cathy. If they wanted to connect with you, how else can they find you?
I would say probably my laughter page is easy. It's cathysclub.com, Cathy with a C.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you for being with us today. It was such a pleasure. And I love that little tune that you created for our summit. It was fun and I could feel the joy of it and the movement of the energy. Thank you so much. And I look forward to hearing more about your work and your impact in the world. Thank
Thank
you,
you, Maria.
everybody. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. Lots of love. Namaste. Bye for now.